Woo! All right. So another year and yet another embarrassing showing in a bowl game. How many more times is this going to happen? That's my question. How many more times? Because this is, God, since 2006, which we're going on 17 years now, that we've only won 2 bowl games. It's just pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic what I saw today on that field. Now, I understand, yes, missing a ton of guys. I feel you. And if we have our normal starting lineup, is that game totally different? 100%. We probably win that game if our regular guys are in there. If Matt Lee, Javion Cohen, we probably have more success running the ball. If Leonard Taylor's in there, probably helps the run defense a little bit. But it's not like you were missing everybody. You still had Maui Noah. You still had Jared Harrison Hunt. You still had Ahmad Bowden. You still had Ruben Bain. You had Daryl Porter back from his injury. You still had the Brown brothers. You still had Jaden Harris. You still had 3/5 of your offensive line. You still had, even as injured as we are at running back, you still had a couple of good guys. You still had X. You still had Horton. You still had Jacoby George. We'll get to him in a second. You had enough. You had enough to win this game. Plenty. Yeah, you had more than enough. So for all the people that say, oh, we were missing this guy, missing that guy, fine, valid. And it probably would have been a different game with those guys. But to just be missing some key guys and for it to drop off, like just completely fall off a cliff like that, just missing a few key guys, it's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, we had more than enough to win that football game. And a lot to get into here. Again, poor clock management. Mario hanging on to his timeouts way longer than I think he should have. Inexplicable there. I don't know if the timeouts in this case would have mattered, because ultimately what decided this game was us just getting absolutely just bullied in the trenches. Okay. And I'm talking on both sides. First of all, let's start on offense. On the offensive line, you could have had Matthew McCoy starting at left guard. Instead, not to pick on the guy, but you put in Louis Cristobal. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody will argue that of the two players, if you had a choice, Matthew McCoy is the better player. I am not sure why Lou Cristobal Jr. was in there. Basically, I don't know if he started the game, but getting most of the snaps. I thought maybe McCoy was hurt. I thought something was wrong with him. But then I saw him on that last drive. I don't understand. I don't understand why he was not in more. Aside from that, you still had Harrison Hunt, Ruben Bain, and you still had Jaden Wayne. You still had a bunch of guys on the D line. It's not like it was a complete skeleton crew. You still had enough guys. Defense, they just ran it down our throats. That running back, we were just arm tackling left and right. It looked like it looked like shades of old Canes teams in bowl games, where it just looks like we do not know what we're doing. What do you think? Mario recruits both lines heavily. It's about the trenches. I'm with you, and I love who he's getting. However, like I've said before, we had enough to at least not get just pummeled in the trenches, because it looked like a high school varsity offensive line or a defensive line going up against a D1 offensive line of Rutgers. It looked that bad. It did not look like 2 Power 5, D-line and O-line going head-to-head. That's not what it looked like to me. And you're telling me, would Leonard Taylor have made a difference? Yeah, maybe on a few plays, but come on. He was really the only key guy that I can think of. Dean was still in there. I mean, he gets called for a really, really costly on a 4th and 1 offsides that gave them an easy first down. Yeah, it's really frustrating. $8 million recruiter. Randy Shannon did this with no money. People say we're a few players away. We're a few coaches away. Listen, with the roster we have going into next year, I really do believe we're a quarterback away from being a really good team. However, this game to me was very alarming because I thought the culture was changing. Now, was the culture really changing? Or did we just get a bunch of portal guys and a few recruits that, actually live that culture that Mario's trying to instill? Did we just plug in some holes and okay, it seems like, we're a tougher team with those starters in, but pull a few of those guys out, it goes right back to what we were doing under Manny Diaz, under Mark Richt, under Al Golden. Stupid penalties, getting just manhandled and slapped around in the trenches. It just all those things. A couple of drop passes, a dropped interception that would have turned the game around. Guys forgetting to block on the punt team, and I mean just completely just Olay just letting the guy right on through and making a game-changing play. That's something that I did not think that I thought even the second string guys that were going to play today, the younger guys, I thought they were about that culture, and it doesn't seem like it. It didn't seem like it to me today. Losing Cam did a lot. Yeah, no, I understand, but Cam doesn't play in the trenches. That's my argument to that. Cam doesn't play in the trenches. What was it? I had a great time at the game. Oh, Chris, you were at the game. Okay. Had a great time at the game, but we should not lose to a team like Rutgers. 100%. Look, I would have been okay. Again, with the guys missing, I would have been okay with, a low-scoring, ugly win. Okay, fine. But, man, look at what added up to this loss. It was horrible mistakes. Really dumb penalties. I mean, I'm sorry, but, Jacoby George had a really bad penalty after a long run that it ended up not mattering because I think we scored on that drive out anyway. I think that was the passing touchdown to Xavier. But, man, he had some costly ones. And Bobby Washington, really, 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 really dumb penalty there. He's got to know better. I know he's a true freshman, but that's no excuse. Here's what I'm saying, though. I thought the culture was really turning a corner, but part of that culture change is not making stupid mistakes. Another part of it is being tougher, which I thought we were during the season, but it's was all of that Matt Lee and Javion Cohen? And what happened to it on defense? Because, I mean, we weren't missing that many guys in the front seven on defense. It was in the back end, the safeties, but we weren't missing a lot of guys in the front end. See, culture changes take time, and until they take hold, critical errors kill us. See, I would have thought by year 2, I would have seen more of it. I would have seen less of these dumb penalties killing us late in games. Yeah, CB, I feel you. If you missed it, Chalupa Batman and I and Ben and Coach Hayes did a little halftime show on CB's channel, so go check it out if you missed it. Jakari showed why we need a portal QB. Look, I don't put this loss on Jakari Brown, honestly. The guy did not play. I agree with you, sir. I thought he looked okay. I thought he looked more than decent. I thought he did enough to win this game. We scored 24 points. Our defense gave up 31. Your defense has no business giving up 31 points against a team like Rutgers. I'm sorry. My prediction before the game started, Miami was going to win 24-13. And I think most people's predictions were around that. Yeah, I don't know. They have to address the lack of discipline. 100% agreed. That has been something that's been part of this program for God since the mid 2000s, since like the 04, 05 days. Which, funny enough, those were the last 2 years that we brought in back-to-back top 10 classes. So again, I really hope things are heading in the right direction. But you asked a few guys to come off the bench and step in and take care of business, and they just fell flat on their faces. That is very alarming to me. I'm not going to lie. I think today was a bit of a step back. Reality is bowl games don't matter. I disagree. Fletcher might have a serious injury, and for what? Yeah, we didn't win, but who cares? It's a meaningless game. I mean, once you're out of the national championship picture, then that means most games aren't meaningless. I mean, was the Louisville game meaningless? Was the BC game meaningless? At what point do you draw that line that, okay, these games for the rest of the season here on out are meaningless? Look, bowl games to me, they leave a lasting impression on the fan base, which matters. It gives you a last look at, before you make kind of your cuts, so to speak. It gives you a last look at those guys. It gives you an extended look at certain players. Because remember, you get 10 to 15 extra practices by making a bowl game. So that alone is big. Should they play all these bowl games? That's another subject. Maybe we should just have New Year's 6 bowl games and all these smaller bowl games. I mean, just give the teams that earn it some extra practices, and that's it. Call it a day. I think Jakari looked decent, not great, but he looked good. The game plan should have been tailored to his skill set a bit more. I agree. I don't know why it took so long to do more of that read option. It seemed like they did it a couple times and it worked. I don't know why they didn't do it more. Yeah. Agreed, Hoodie. Yeah, I believe I think he did enough for us to win. That's not the quarterback position is not where the game was lost today. JB stared on field, always ready for prime time. He may not be, but again, I don't think he lost us the game. Our defense gave up. True. Good point, Marine. Yes, defense gave up 24. I'm just saying we as a team gave up 31 points, but yeah, still defense got absolutely manhandled. And that costly special teams play, my God, that was just awful. More real. Thank you for the dono. Appreciate it. Funny how Jakari threw to X 3 of 4 pass attempts, or was that TVD? Listen, TVD does like to stare X down. I think it's a little bit of both. That was a TVD thing. However, Xavier Restrepo is really good at getting open, so you also can't fault him for that. Let's see. 3 was terrible today. Yeah. After singing his praises all season, which he deserved, he had a very good year. But again, today was an example of the BS that we've been used to for the past decade and a half, especially in bowl games. Dumb penalties, undisciplined play, hitting dudes from behind. I mean, that's not acceptable. And what was he doing still in the game? You still have Shamar Kirk, you have Ray, you have other guys that you can put in there. And to what I forgot who it was that said, but I don't think bowl games are meaningless in the regard that it's a chance for you to try new things, throw some new guys in there, see what might work, give you a preview of the young guys for next season. Game definitely showed. Hit the nail right on the head on this one, short stack. Game definitely showed we still have a depth problem and a lack of experience. Yeah, 100% we have a depth issue. I think year 3, we're going to start to see an end to that because now with 3 recruiting classes in, certain positions, we're not going to be so thin where if you lose, like, for example, you lose Matt Lee, all of a sudden there's a major drop-off. Although I was a little surprised. I thought Ryan Rodriguez was going to play a little bit better at center. Unfortunately, there was a lot of high snaps. We all saw it. I was expecting a little bit more because he came into the Temple game earlier this year and looked great. And again, I wish there was a little bit of more Matt McCoy in this game because you can't teach size. And I thought Matthew McCoy did a very good job filling in for guys that were nicked up throughout the season. So I don't understand why he didn't play more. And if he wasn't available for whatever reason, what about Tommy Kinsler? That's another dude that's massive. Why not get an early look at Tommy Kinsler if you believe in him so much? Put him in there, see what he can do. Let's see. Cohen and Lee we needed. Yep. I mean, that would have definitely helped our run game, but it is what it is. I wanted the momentum from this game. We had a hell of a signing day. I wanted to carry that momentum into the offseason with a bowl win. So did I. Look, I wanted this win for the simple fact that 8-5 looks way better than 7-6. It looks way better. And we didn't get it done. And it's another year of 7-6 and 3-5 in the ACC. And it's those records are starting to look. I'm starting to get too used to those because it seems like we're always 3-5 or 4-4 in the ACC. We're always 7-6, 8-5 on a good year. That's been like the average since 2005. At least try a Hail Mary at the end. Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't. That was, on that fourth down play, I know they're trying to get the first down, but it's like, dude, come on. We were all watching. Our chance was to throw one up and let one of our athletes go up and get it. Game was lost by the way they ran the ball down our throats. Yes. Yep. That's what I mentioned before. I know we were a little lighter at D tackle today, but again, it's not like you were missing everybody. I'm telling you, they checked out after the last game of the season. And players started. The way certain guys played today, it did seem like they were a little checked out for sure. Let's see. Citizen on a bad leg on that terrible field. You people must hate the kid. That's not a bad point, HR. I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't know if him playing would have made much of a difference, to be honest with you. Let's see. McCoy played some. Yeah. No, he did play some, but not the majority of the snaps, which I would have preferred. I would have preferred him on the O-line today. We needed him. Bowl game kind of summed up our whole season. Yeah, well put. QB was a huge problem. Don't downplay it. No, I disagree. Yeah, I know he had some misfires, but he also made some good throws. And even with his not perfect play today, still should have won the game. The glaring weakness today was just getting manhandled by their O-line. Let's see. We have QB1 and 2 starting receivers. I don't trust Jacoby. Trust in Jacoby today, that took a major hit. Let's see. If you're calling for Mario's firing or wasting your breath, I'm not calling for that. I don't know if any people on the chat are probably calling for it. I'm not calling for that, just yet. Look, I think Mario, he's going to have like a Jim Harbaugh kind of contract where he just kind of has as much time as he needs to get this thing turned around. And, you keep throwing talent at this thing long enough, it will get turned around to a certain extent. But as far as getting us over the hump and getting us back to greatness, I don't think, I think he's got to continue to surround himself with the right guys. I think he's got to get better at game management because the way he manages games right now, I'm sorry, that's just not gonna cut it. Some decisions are questionable. They have me scratching my head for sure as far as personnel. but he's here to stay for the long haul, which overall, I guess I'm okay with, but man, you gotta shore up some things. First of all, I don't know what you guys think, but this will probably be the argument for the next few weeks. That fourth down call, for example, where the game was still in the balance. I think there was 9 minutes left on the clock. We went for it on 4th and 2. Call the timeout before it because the first look they had was Jakari, empty set, 5 wide. They spread the defense out. I thought, oh, he's got a hole right there on the right. He's going to run it right up the middle. Miami calls a timeout. And they go back to the old, the same formation we've seen on so many 3rd and shorts, on so many 4th and shorts, with Cam McCormick lined up at H-back. You're overloading one side of the line, and it's obvious that we're running the ball. Obvious. Everyone in the building knows we're running it. I know we're running it. Every Canes fans knows we're running it, and run it right behind that left side of the O-line, which was shorthanded today. And those are the decisions I don't understand. That's the play where you got to draw something up. I'll give you an example. There was a 4th down against Clemson and Coach Dawson did this play a couple of times this year. We're on 4th down, or on 3rd. It was 4th down against Clemson when we did it, but it was on 3rd down against Texas A&M where they have Kobe Young escape. He's in motion. He escapes to the flat, and he's wide open because I think it was off of a play action fake, dumps it off to him, easy touchdown. I think you got to draw up something like that. That call on 4th and 2 was a Mario call. Because I don't think – I'm sorry, but that has Mario written all over it. We needed a better OC, let's face it. Dawson was not Mario's first choice. See, I'm telling you, I haven't gotten verbal confirmation on this. I don't know if we'll ever know, but that whole running it with this super vanilla, no motion, no drawing something up, nothing, that's a Mario call. If Mario wants to really turn this thing fully around, he's got to let his coordinators do their thing. And I'm talking specifically on offense. I think that was a Mario call, 100%. At my second job, I'll be rewatching and surprised how bad our run defense was. Whole D needed to wake up. JB settled and did 5 from what I saw. I'm fine with riding with him next year. I don't know if I'm fine with him riding with him next year. I don't know about that. Jakari did okay. He didn't blow me away or anything, but, he made some nice plays, made some good throws. He made some bad throws. Miami fans want FSU 1-year rental. Give Jakari the reign and let him listen. I would prefer a 1-year rental that gets us 11 or 12 wins than riding with Jakari. I don't think he's that dude that we should be riding with. I'll be perfectly honest. I like him. I think he's exciting. I don't think he's at this time good enough to be our starter going into next year. I just simply don't. Horrible call. Yeah. Just need to let Mario shut down with our throats until it starts showing on the field. That seems to be his strategy. And look, it seems to be working now for Harbaugh. But Harbaugh is a better game day coach. Same play call against NC State that cost us the game. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you guys know, and it's the same formation every time too. I'm telling you, that is a Mario call. That is not a Shannon Dawson call. When our offense opens it up and puts guys in motions, gets a little more creative, a little tempo, that I'm telling you, that is Dawson. That's because it's so it's so different, the two methods. It has to be. That has to be the case. Lack of creativity. Lack of creativity is starting to upset me. I've seen Dawson be more creative. I'm just so confused. That's because I don't think that's all on Dawson. Let's see. Get Ward, Jefferson, leave the offensive load. Let's see. Yeah, 100%. The 90-yard drive was Dawson. Again, it was that scoring drive was run very differently. Got manhandled on defense. Yep, we covered that. Jakari looked better than any QB we saw under center all year with the worst O-line. I still say TVD at his best was the best quarterback we've seen all year, but honestly, Jakari today was a close second to that. Let's see, Mario's not the answer, but unfortunately, we are stuck with him. Our only hope is that he accumulates enough talent to overcome the play calling and clock management. That's what we're all hoping. That would basically be a repeat of Butch Davis, because it was kind of the same thing. I agree with Mario on fourth. Did no one see him? Wait, hang on. I agree with Mario on fourth. Did no one see him talking on the headset and after he had the headset off? Yeah. No, I think he 100% meddles in the offense, and it hurt this team this year. It seemed like at times TVD and Jakari did really well when we went up tempo. That's where rhythm comes from, and it works when we do, but then they slow it down. All right, guys. I think I'm going to stop here. Definitely going to have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks because, man, that was a very discouraging display today. It's very disappointing. I mean, really you look at the names that were out there today on defense. Those guys couldn't stop the run. If you told me, okay, Bain is out, Jaden Wayne is out, Jared Harrison Hunt is out, and we're going with a skeleton crew. We're going with walk-ons and a couple of freshmen, and that's our front seven today. Okay, then today would have made more sense. Then I would have been like, okay, that's not the real Canes out there. But for the most part, it was like, I'm talking the front seven specifically. It was for the most part the right guys. Smacked around. I can't explain it. And Coach JT and Coach Lance Guidry, they did, defense for the most part did a solid job this year. I don't know. It's just very inexplicable and inexcusable. But anyway, I don't want to depress myself anymore. I'm going to log off, but I will be back sometime later, probably next week. I'm probably just going to chill the rest of the week. These days between Christmas and New Year's, I like to take it easy, but I want to come on here and talk a little bit about the game. And yeah, hopefully we get some good news on the quarterback front that would ease the pain a bit. And just set our sights for 2024. But man, this it needs to get better. Today told me that certain things that I thought were fixed aren't quite fixed yet, and they need to get fixed in heading into year 3. Because by year 3, if you're still committing dumb penalties, you're still shooting yourselves in the foot. You still can't get out of your own way as far as play calling and just making mistakes on the field. Then, yeah, Coach Cristobal I'm not saying he's in the hot seat, but man, that seat's getting a little warm if we still see the same crap in year 3. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, guys, I got to head out. Go Canes. Again, hope we get some good news this week. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your holiday. Happy New Year, and see you guys next week.